Hello everyone, this is Ashru and this is my midterm presentation for the intermediate seminar. And in this presentation, I will be talking about the relationship between sound and politics and much more that comes from there. So, as you all know that sound was the broader term or the umbrella term that was selected by the whole class for this semester. So everyone have to do their research that is somewhat connected to sound. And then I am personally interested a little bit in politics, so I wanted to do something that connects the both. That means that connects both sound and politics. So my first goal um, of this research for this seminar is understanding the relationship between sound and politics. And while researching about sound and politics, I found out that noise could be something very interesting. Mm, as we go through this presentation, I will explain why noise is very interesting. But for now, I just want to say that noise could be very interesting and also very relevant to a lot of things that we do in our daily life. So, my second goal is to explore the definition of noise because the definition of noise could be very subjective. And number three, um, is number three goal number three is to understand what exactly we can achieve if we look to a state and society through the lens of sound. So what exactly we can see through the lens of sound that we cannot see through only through the naked eyes. So these are the three goals of my research, and then the possible contribution of this research to society. So first and foremost, which I haven't actually written in this slide, but that is like the academic contribution. So if I find out something new while doing this research, that will be a good um, academic contribution to the education sector, I think. But apart from that, um, because of this research, we can form a better understanding of sound control in urban areas. Thus, the law enforcement mechanisms will be better. And then, since we will be looking into society through the lens of sound, that result could bring political literacy among general public about sound politics. Thus, that can, for example, let them vote a better party in the election, maybe. So that will result in better governance, and so on. So, this is my concept map. So to begin with my concept map, at the very center, you can see there is sound and there is politics. And sound and politics are connected with an arrow which have the head in both end. You can see that means sound and politics both affects both. So sound affects politics, and politics also affects sound. So sound and politics, combining these two things, we can find sound politics. That means the politics of sound. And from sound we can also find noise. So that means noise is a part of sound, but well, all noises are sound, but all sounds are not noise, right? Then also, um, what exactly is noise and what is not noise is also determined by politics. So, as I have told you earlier, that noise could be something very interesting. So, while doing the research, I have found two research papers which talks about the sound control or the noise control in the city of Sao Paulo. And in that research papers, the authors talks about how what is considered noise is different in different neighborhoods of Sao Paulo. So the city of Sao Paulo is quite diverse. So there is like the very posh, very high end section of that, and there is also like the industrial section where generally the people who works in factories they live. So in the richer section of the city of Sao Paulo, the what is considered noise, even a sound that is like not that high is considered noise, because those neighborhoods are very, like, very quiet. But in different sections where like the people live the working class people live there, uh, well, noise, even quite a high sound is not considered noise. So that is how, like, a noise is, what is noise is determined by your identity, by your economic status, and by also like the politics behind that. So noise is something that is always undefined. So its definition varies from place to place. And then noise is something that also make you generally uncomfortable. um and then noise is something that is also may make you productive. So one of the research papers I have read for this, so that was the research paper number 4. In that paper, the author talks about how noise can also make us um, productive in some ways. And then also noise can also make us transformative. So this is a very interesting idea. So that this one is from the research paper number 3 that I have read for this presentation. In this in that research paper, the author talks about, so since poorer and richer sections of a city lives like close by sometimes, so for example, if one rich section and one poor section is like nearby, and then so one people from one section can hear the noises that comes from another section. So if that if there is a way that works to transform one group of people to another group of people in some way, so that is something like transformative. So the question is, if noise is something that can be used as a transformative force, and at last coexistence, alienation, or both. So as we told earlier, the level of noise is something that separates communities or separates neighborhood. And then the noise can also be used to transform in a transformative way. That means people from one section know understand better about the people from another section. So my question is, um, what exactly noise does? Does it work as a some does it work as something that is force for coexistence, or is it something that is a force for alienation, or is it like both? So this part is basically the main research topic for my project. So my main research focus will be on if noise is something that works as a force for coexistence, or it works as a force for alienation, or it works as a force for both in same time. And if it works as a force for both in the same time, so how exactly does that happen? And then sound politics also. So in the lower section, sound politics also reveals a lot of things for us, that is like the state power. So how does the state or the country treats a different group of people? um, we can find out by looking at the society through the lens of sound. And the administrative control on different cities, or like the different part of the city, sound regulation, and interagency rivalry between different parts of the government, and also the political rivalry. So last two sections are quite interesting also. So in two of the research papers that I have read, which is based on the city of Sao Paulo, in those cities, the research paper says that different government agencies have different criteria for defining what is noise and what is not noise. So what one agency says that this is noise, another agency says this is not noise. So the rivalry between them also determine like how the state power works. And the same thing is true also for political parties. So different political party considered different kind of sounds as noise. For example, the are conservative political parties advocates for more of a quieter society, while the communist or leftist political parties says no, little bit of noise is fine, or they say like they are more liberal about that. So if we look to society through the lens of sound, we can also find out these things. So my research question will be, how can noise works as a force of coexistence and alienation at the same time? So as I said earlier, that I think noise can work both as a force of coexistence between different groups of people, but also it can force one group of people to alienize from another group of people. So I'm wondering that how does that work, and that will be my focus for this research. And what can we understand about the political nature of any particular state if we look through the lens of sound? As I said earlier, what exactly we can see if we look to a society or a country through the lens of sound, the and what exactly is those things that we cannot see if we do not see through the lens of sound. So that will be my second research question. And I have used sorry, not four, five different sources for this. And here are those. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.